The Brit Awards have decided that they're now going to be gender neutral. There'll be no best male artist, there'll be no best female artist. And I assume this is being done because of the absolutely minute percentage of people who describe themselves as non-binary. Does it make sense? As with many other debates in society, does it make sense that the majority have to bend to the will of the minority? I'm not sure it does. Joining me to discuss this is Russell C. Brennan, multi-platform artist, cutting-edge producer, who has previously been nominated for a Brit Award himself. Russell, good evening. Thank you for joining us. I suppose in many ways, this announcement did not come as a surprise.
No, I mean, as you know, with the woke culture, they're always trying to change things, like you say, to the minority. But I'm a bit surprised the music business has stood for it, though, considering the way they think.
Yeah, and you've got sort of Adele and Ed Sheeran, and she would have been up for the best, female artist, and he the best male artist. I mean, what do the performers think about this?
I mean, the performers are going to be livid, a lot of them, but they want to see more kind of politically correct, so they're not going to complain. The record companies similarly aren't going to be happy because they're shooting themselves in the foot. Whereas before they could get 2 awards, one for the male, one for the male. It helps the other artist's career. Now they're only going to get 1 instead of 2. That cuts half the possibilities of promoting other artists to get an award, and that's not going to help their career. And of course, like you said, it's going to be irrelevant this year, really, because Adele's going to win everything. So I wouldn't like to be a new male artist come along, just done a brilliant album. Sorry, you're not going to win.
And Russell, as you say, such is the tide of political correctness. Such is the amount of abuse people receive on Twitter if they dare stand up for the idea of a man and a woman, that this will just happen and people will mutter under their breath and nobody will complain and nothing will change.
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel a bit sorry for what's going to happen is what's happened in America. I mean, I've had like 400 releases and vast majority for a female artist. I'm very pro-female artist. And what's happening in America is the males are starting to win and the females are getting left behind again, we've just made a lot of progress for females. And now it's, instead of them both getting equal recognition, now they're going to start, the male's going to win and the females doesn't get the chance they would have got.
So actually, it becomes self-defeating, as you say, doesn't it? So
exactly.
If we finish up with males winning again, females not doing well, what have we achieved? Russell, thank you for joining us and for very frankly putting over your point of view. I thought what Russell said was very interesting, that because of political correctness, many performers will think this is wrong, but nobody will dare say a word. Well, also with me to discuss this is campaigner Peter Tatchell, LGBTI campaigner. Peter, good evening.
Good evening, Nigel.
Now, I know you've campaigned for decades for equality and fairness, and you've done some pretty remarkable work. I especially enjoyed your campaign against the late Robert Mugabe. So you're a lifelong campaigner. Aren't we going just a bit too far with all of this?
Well, I think what this new revised category does is really create the greatest or the best artist, regardless of sex or gender. I think that's good. I think it's I'm not entirely comfortable with the idea that we divide people on the basis of male and female. Male and female is a reality, of course, and I accept that. But I just think it's going to be great to have, the greatest, the best performer at the Brits, regardless of whether they're male or female. My only concern is what we've just heard from the other guest. I just wonder if maybe this might lead to male performers taking most of the key points and ending up the best artist, too often being male and female artists being left out.
Yeah, I mean, he did make that point, Russell, with some passion, didn't he? And wouldn't it be ironic if a couple of years down the road, his prediction and your fear comes true, and so we finish up having quotas for female and quotas for male, and we actually finish up back where we started and wonder why we bothered.
Well, yeah, I think the way around it that I'd see is let's have a category, the best artist, which is open to everyone, male, female, non-binary, trans. But then let's keep the categories of male and female, and perhaps even have a new category of non-binary to accommodate singers like Sam Smith. That would, I hope, satisfy everyone.
Yeah, well, we could do that, Peter. But I mean, if you had a non-binary category, there wouldn't be many entrants, would there?
Well, not as many as male and female. That's true, but
nowhere near as many. Nowhere near as many.
And of course, it wouldn't have the same prestige as the best artist, or even the best male artist, or best female artist. But it would still accommodate those people, and I don't see why not. The music industry can afford to give it another award. I mean, under the current proposals, they're actually cutting down the number of awards and diminishing the opportunities for artists, whether they're male or female. I don't think that's very good at all.
And is it fair to say, beyond this question of the Brit Awards, that actually what some campaigners are trying to do is to destroy the very basis of a difference between males and females on this earth? And that's actually a deeply unhealthy thing to do.
I don't think that's the intention. I think the intention is to find the best artist. But
Peter, I meant generally within society, beyond the Brit Awards. There is this attack, isn't there, on the very concept of people describing themselves as male, female, that somehow there should be some sort of different, new creation, a new sexual identity for human beings where we don't praise male values, we don't praise female values. Isn't there something unhealthy and wrong with that?
Well, I think certainly male and female are biological realities. We can't get away from that.
Okay, good.
I think also, though, we shouldn't, I think we too often, or many of us too often, look at other people through the lens of he's male, she's female, rather than that person is a human being. That person is not, what's key to that person is not their sex or gender identity. It's the fact they are a human being. And I think, it'd be good, I think, and positive to get away from too much obsession about male and female. Well, of course, that's a reality. But when it comes to awards and events and so on, I think the gender division is not always very helpful. I think it can be divisive.
Peter,
and I don't want to put men against women. I want us all to be working together.
Peter, we'll discuss this again because I know this issue is not going away. Thank you very much indeed for joining me tonight here on GB News.